morning there, sweet peas. Basic Prepper Mom Myra on my way to work in this crappy weather. It's kind of half snow, half rain right now. If it drops, I think even a degree or two more, it's going to be all snow. It's definitely freezing out, almost freezing. Actually, it's 34, so getting close. Anyway, there's a lot of predictions that are going on out there about is there going to be a World War III? When is it going to happen? And I think a lot of anxiety that goes along with it. And I kind of talked about a little bit yesterday about just kind of breathe. But it seems every single day there's just more and more that comes out. There's more and more that's going on. And to be quite honest, you know, I never wanted to be political on here, and I guess this really isn't political, just my opinion. But unfortunately, I think the U.S. gets weaker and weaker and weaker every day. Not every month, not every year. I think every day the U.S. gets weaker and weaker, and I think that our foreign enemies are watching that very, very closely. I think they are keeping tabs of exactly what's going on, and I think they're keeping tabs of the vulnerability of us. And I honestly think that they're going to wait for just that perfect time to strike, however that happens to be. Reminds me of this. Remember when you were playing jump rope in school? You're playing jump rope, I know. And for those of you old enough to understand, there was a thing called playing jump rope. Anyway. And you had the big long jump rope. And you've got two people and they're doing this. And you jump in, right? You're waiting for that perfect time to jump in. You're waiting for that perfect time to jump in. And I feel like that's what's going on right now with our enemies. I feel like that they are just waiting for that perfect time. Wait, not yet. Oh, you know, and you had that anticipation of, oh, yep, the next one. Nope, okay, not that one. Okay, hold on. I feel like that's what they're doing right now. They're waiting for that perfect time to jump in. They're waiting for that perfect time or that perfect opportunity to take it. And I think that we are putting ourselves in that very vulnerable situation. I think that we're actually making it very easy for our enemies to do that. Now, whether they strike with forces, whether it's boots on the ground, whether it's an EMP, whether it's a supply chain, like we're just stopping everything, you get nothing, whatever the situation. Now, having said that, we still, even though China and the U.S. are kind of a little iffy right now, right? We still get a lot of things imported from China. And one of the biggest things that we get imported is medication. Not just medication in itself, but product or the ingredients to go in certain medications if they're manufactured here in the U.S. So we're very, very vulnerable to a attack from China. Not necessarily boots on the ground attack, but we are very vulnerable for if China decides to say, yeah, we're done. And the biggest thing is going to be the medication issue. We get a lot from China. Now, having said that, that's why we continue to prep. That's why we continue to store things up. I think that, and a lot of people are calling for like the next 60 days, like within 60 days, we're going to see something. Not necessarily a ginormous war that, you know, an actual war that everything's, but within 60 days, we're going to see a major event happen. You know, like on A Christmas Story, a major award is coming to, you know, it's not going to be an award, that's for sure. So that's why we continue to stock up. That's why we continue to store up. That's why we continue to do what we can to make sure that we're okay and to make sure that our families are okay. Ooh, it is almost completely turned into snow right now. Glad I'm at work finally and not driving in it. But That's what we need to prepare for. We're not preparing necessarily, and this is just my opinion, this is me personally, I'm not preparing for the world to completely fall apart and for us personally to go to war. I'm not preparing for an invasion. Now, if it happens, am I prepared for that? Probably, but that's not my main purpose. My main purpose to prepare is specifically for supply chain issues, because when things are unavailable, whether it's food, water, medication, we talked about, when things are not available, I want to make sure that my family is taken care of. I want to make sure that my family is stocked up and stored up. Anything up above that, beyond that, is a bonus, because those things are things that I can use for bartering, for trading, for whatever the situation, if we get there. Do I think that we're going to be in a 100% barter situation to where we can't get anything? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it will be that severe, but I do think that we are going to get in a situation where either we can't find certain things, or the prices are so high that nobody's going to be able to afford them. And that's my fear, to be quite honest. We see prices increasing, we see prices going up every day, and I want to make sure that my family has what they need. Like I said, anything you stock up and store up above that is a bonus. Or if it's not food, water, medication, any other things that you stock up, which is not saying that they're not necessary, but any extra that you stock up or have on hand is definitely a bonus. But food, water, and medication are definitely the top three that you need to be. Food, medication, water. Sorry, I talked about that yesterday. Food, medication, water. There we go. That's what you need to really look at. I don't think that we're going to get in a situation where we're being invaded and we are physically going to war here in the United States, on like boots on the ground here in the US. I don't think so. But I do think we're going to see other issues. I think that with all the manufacturing, accidents, the fires and the train derailments and, the fire at the nuclear plant, I think all of this is being watched very closely. I believe that, in my opinion, that the enemies are looking at our infrastructure and the failure of it and saying, okay, this is weak, and this is weak. Where would be our best area to hit to sorry, that was not the word. I was going to say a word in that. To decommission as many and as large of infrastructures. Woo! I'm having a hard time with my words this morning. I have obviously not had enough coffee. Pardon me for just a moment. Ooh. Where is our best bet to basically get the most bang for a buck? Where can we hit the most that is going to affect the largest population and maybe the most secure population? And I think what's happening is everyone is focusing on these little outbreaks that are going on. Remember, follow the shinies, following the shinies, don't follow the shinies. But I think even our government sometimes is focusing on all these little things going, oh, wow, that's interesting. That they're not paying attention to the bigger picture. They're not paying attention to what's really going on. So they're so preoccupied with all this other stuff going on that they're not really paying attention to what's going on that could really affect the American people, that could really affect the U.S. And of course, we keep sending more and more military equipment and money over to Ukraine. And I've got opinions on that as well, but it is what it is. I just think that we, the American people, are being left in a very vulnerable state. I think that we are being conditioned to, and that could be another thing that's going on with all these fires and all these derailments and stuff. It's a condition, because at some point when you cry wolf, people aren't going to listen anymore, or people aren't going to think it's a big deal. Oh, another train derailment, whatever. Yeah, of course, whatever. It's like the 20th one this week, whatever, we get conditioned to hearing it so much that it becomes no big deal. We become numb to it. And that's why you should never follow the shinies, because that's what they're doing, is kind of conditioning. Don't get distracted by it. Continue to do what you do. Continue to stock up, store up for yourself and your family. And keep an eye on what's going on, but don't be so over-consumed with it that it stops you from doing what you're doing, that it stops you from your sole purpose. Now, I work full-time. Right now, I'm starting to work 6 days a week, and it's our busy time of year, and it's very difficult for me to find time to do what I need to do. I also have kind of another job, somebody else that I'm helping out with their business. So my time is very, 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 very limited. But I still find the time, I still try to find the time to store up and stock up as much as I can to continue with what I'm doing. Even if it's just, I have to run to the store real quick. While I'm there, I'm just getting things for the week, because kind of that's the way my life is right now. And I buy okay, I'm just going to grab a couple extra cans just because. That's at least doing something. That's at least moving forward. So even though I may not have time right now to do a lot of freeze drying, I have a canner. I'm going to start canning stuff. And the thought of actually canning stuff right now is very overwhelming, because I'm like, where am I fitting this in time frame? Like what am I doing here? But there's just certain things that you just have to make time for. You have to do it. You have to spend the money on it. It's not an option, but that's kind of where I'm at. You have to find the time, the effort, and the money and the energy to make sure that your family is well taken care of. All right. That's kind of my rambling today. It is a bit of a rambling situation, but just kind of my opinion day. Once again, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out. I hope you guys have a wonderful, amazing day. I'm going to try to make it into my office without getting completely soaked, because it's still rain, snow right now. So good luck with that, right? All right. Hope you guys have a wonderful, amazing day, and we will talk to you later.